Welcome to Post Game on the Pitch. I'm Osvita Mara Area of CascadiaSports.net, and he is John Marshall of Radio Cascadia. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me, Moz. It's always great to be here.
Absolutely. 1-1. Sounders, they go down 1-0 in typical Sounder fashion, and then they tie it up under 10 men. What initial thoughts?
It's a bit of a bittersweet kind of game. Schmetzer kind of mentioned that, he's happy with the performance and the effort the team put in, but disappointed that, they needed 3 points tonight. They really needed a win to keep their playoff hopes well and alive. And now they're kind of hanging on by a thread for making the playoffs with just 1 point. So it's a bit of a mixed bag tonight. Because I do agree with them that there was some good performances tonight.
They started out well. Up from 0 to the first 14 minutes, most of the play was down there.
Yeah.
And then from minute, as it always happens, from minute 15 to 17, 18, they let the other team come in, and then from there, a mistake that we saw. Now, there's multiple players to blame on that, right?
Sure.
But the end result you're going to see is, AB sticks it out there, and Fry was left in no person's land. So, and then from there they're chasing the game.
Yeah, and definitely Christian kind of touched on this as well. That Cincinnati, the game state changes with that goal a lot. Cincinnati can sit in more and be a little bit more reactive, where Seattle really has to push the tempo and try and force the game to get that equalizer goal. And he said, especially in the second half, their performance was much better from Seattle. They looked a lot more aggressive, a lot more, I thought, effective in their passing game. A lot less mistakes in that sense. And we saw some really good performances from a lot of the young guys being asked to come out and play full 90 minutes in the case of Ethan Doubleair.
All right, let's go on the good play, and then we'll hit the young guys. But my thought was when Christian came in, right, and they pushed up Kellen Rowe up, and so that made a difference. And to your point, that's when they started with Kellen Rowe pushing up there and Christian Rodan running down there. I thought up-tempo, the passing was better. Will Boone talked about that. Yeah. And going to the young guys, what stuck out with you?
Really, one, I think Leyva and Atencio have done a very good job in that double pivot defensive midfield role. I think that while this might not have been their best performances as Sounders, this certainly was not a bad performance. In fact, I think it was very good from both of them. I was really impressed by Ethan Doubleair, who hasn't been asked very often to play as a wing back, a more defensive role, more of a attacking striker, and he does in the initial setup with 5 at the back, does play higher up the field and play in a more attacking role for Sounders to start, and created with his speed a lot of runs in behind the defense. At one point had a nice run in behind and crossed the ball right back into the center. Unfortunately, there was no one there to clean it up, but he was making the right moves, making the right decisions, and per Schmetzer in his post-game conference mentioned that he's really impressed by his defensive effort.
Should he play up there more often in your estimation of what Smith should do with him? Or is it just this was just because of injuries? I mean,
part of this is injuries and international absences. I don't know if he necessarily supplants Alex Roldan from that position. I would be interested in seeing, Kellen Rowe got the red card in this game. He's not going to be available for Kansas City. I'd be interested in if Alex or Doubleair can play on the opposite side. I don't know if that's necessarily their skill set, or if it's really something more for Madranda being a left-footed player.
But going to your point, Doubleair, the ability to stretch defenses and run back is something that maybe Smith could use him either, off the bench or something in terms of that. So that's something to see in terms of what the Sounders do. But I think this was the theme. That my questioning, and you asked some good questions as well. Sounders have been chasing the game, they've been chasing the season, and today was kind of the same thing. Recaps. They start out well, let the other team get in there, a mistake, they chased the game. Sure, you tied it, but the tie is not what you needed in this game.
Right.
And so to me, it just was, the effort was there, the execution was lacking and wanting.
Agreed. Yeah, and they created some chances. Christian almost gets a header on frame to take the lead. On the flip side of that, they late in stoppage time almost give up a goal that, I mean, Cincinnati misses a tap in, basically. Two of them. I mean, really could be a loss tonight, not a draw. So somewhat fortunate in that regard. But really, it is kind of
a loss.
It's a loss in the sense because at this point you really needed this 3 points.
Yeah,
you need a lot of Sounders need a lot of help now if they're going to get in the playoffs, and that's with them winning out. It's going to be tough in Kansas City. Kansas City's not been the best of teams this year, but Sounders do have a history of struggling on the road in Kansas City. No Kellen Rowe was mentioned, though Nico Ladero will be back for that game.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll kind of see. But to your point, absolutely, it's going to be, look, they have to win out. That's it. I think all the scoreboard watching and stuff, we'll see. But the Sounders just don't get it done today.